Hey guys, YouTuber Winter here. Alright, and yeah, it's been a little while since I've made a video. I've just been a little bit busy lately. Yeah, I've had a couple of midterms this week, and yeah, a couple of days ago I saw The Exorcist on the big screen. Yeah, that was freaking awesome. So yeah, just been a little bit busy lately. But okay, yeah, I'm back now. And yeah, here I am with another Chucky movie review. Now, here's my review of Seed of Chucky. This was crap. Yeah, this was flat out crap. Yeah, I mean, this was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I mean, this movie is just, yeah, once again, like, the Chucky movies, this one once again goes for, like, a horror comedy, and this was absolutely unfunny. I mean, yeah, the comedy here was even worse than in Bride of Chucky. I mean, yeah, there was not one thing in this movie that made me laugh. I mean, there was nothing funny about this at all. Yeah, and it was even less funny than it was in Bride of Chucky. I mean, yeah. And plus, the way the story was put together in this movie was just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could, like, say in a way that this, like, continues the story from Bride of Chucky, but it just does it so ridiculously. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll get into the story as this review goes along, so yeah. And yeah, I mean, yeah, so in this movie, yeah, just like Bride of Chucky, like a completely different cast of characters, yeah. This kind of like this movie kind of like it takes place in like the quote unquote real world, but yeah, Brad Dourif returning as Chucky and Jennifer Tilly returning as Tiffany, and she's also in this movie as herself. And yeah, you also have like Redman in this movie, and yeah, he's in it as himself, and yeah. So yeah, it kind of like takes place in the real world, but yeah. I guess this could mean that the Chucky movies are set in the real world, but yeah, it was still, yeah, not good. Now this is even worse than Child's Play 3. I mean, yeah, this is just stupid, it's not funny, and yeah. Mm, yeah, there's just no other way around it. This was just crap. And I give this movie 1 star out of 4. Yeah, so, yeah. And the production for this movie was handed over to another company. So rather than Universal, this movie was done by Rogue Pictures. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've been coughing a lot. I really don't know what's going on. Yeah, I apologize for like the coughing that I've been doing so far. Yeah, this is probably gonna continue throughout the entire review, so I apologize if I like cough a lot in this video. No, yeah. This movie was distributed by Rogue Pictures. The movie was released in 2004, and that's also when it's set 6 years since the events of Bride of Chucky. And so yeah, but yeah, and yeah. And like I said, this continues the story from last film, because yeah, Chucky and Tiffany's child is in the movie. And yeah, this. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with me. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, their, like, child in this movie, like, Glenn, he appears in this movie, and yeah, this marks his only appearance within the entire movie series. Yeah. And yeah, it's just like, yeah, this movie also, like, it's not really like really focused on really like the stuff with Chucky and Tiffany. This stuff is like more set with the stuff going on with like Jennifer Tilly, and it's like she's kind of in a relationship with Redman, or like they like each other, and then yeah, it's just like stuff going on with them, and then yeah, stuff going on with Jennifer Tilly and her driver. Yeah, I mean, the stuff in this movie, it really seems more just like it's not really a, feels just more like a Jennifer Tilly movie than it does really a Chucky movie. And so, yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I really say this film is crap. So, yeah, just because it's not really like, yeah, there's not really enough focus on to Chucky. It's more focused on Jennifer Tilly and what's going on with her. So, yeah, let me just get right into this thing. So, yeah, like I said, the movie is set 6 years after the events of Bride of Chucky. And then it opens with the credits while we show, like, I guess it shows the inside of Tiffany's womb as their child is in there. And then it shows from their child's point of view. It shows, like, a British girl's birthday party, and she's opening her present, and turns out it's the doll of Chucky and Tiffany's child. But we don't actually see it, because it's from his point of view. And yeah, the daughter just throws him into the toy chest, and then he comes out and he takes the knife from the birthday cake, and he goes upstairs, and then yeah, the father then sees the doll, and he thinks that the daughter just left the doll out. And as he's talking to his daughter about it, the doll then stabs and kills the father. And then he goes and sneaks up on the mother, and then ends up killing her while she's in the shower. And as he's heading to kill the daughter, he sees that she's not in his bed, and that she can actually see what, like, the doll's alive, but it turns out it's just a nightmare from the doll. Yeah, in reality he's just an embarrassment and abuse by, and he's used just as a ventriloquist dummy. Yeah, and during the show with the ventriloquist, he begins like really like wanting to know who his parents were. And then it gets to like a movie being filmed and a guy dressed as Santa. Yeah. And then it shows like a knife cutting through his bag of toys, and it turns out it's Chucky. And then in that film, Chucky and Tiffany then end up killing that guy dressed as Santa, and then we see like they're just controlled as animatronic puppets. Yeah. And then we just see like Jennifer or Tilly, like it's one of Jennifer Tilly's films. And then yeah, she's just being spoken to about everything. Yeah. And then eventually Glenn escapes it from the ventriloquist. Yes, and then he heads from England over to Hollywood to. And he arrives at the movie set to find his parents, and yeah, then does see Chucky and Tiffany. And then yeah, he uses the amulet from the last movie, and then he does the voodoo chant to bring Chucky and Tiffany back to life. And then yeah, at first they really don't know who he is, and then yeah, then he basically tells Chucky and Tiffany that he's their son, or their child rather. And yeah, and then once Chucky finds that out, he just passes out while Tiffany he was just excited about it, and she hugs the child. Yeah. And yeah, and then then a puppeteer came into the and then he was starting to take Tiffany apart. But then Chucky used a wire, and then he wrapped it around the puppeteer's neck, and then Chucky and Tiffany like tightened it up, and that ended up decapitating the puppeteer, and his head just completely fell off, and blood went like gushing everywhere from his neck. Yeah. And then I kind of like freaked out the child, and then they saw like he was wetting himself with urine somehow. I really don't know. And then they saw like he really didn't have any set of genitalia. And so they were arguing whether or not he was actually a boy or a girl. And Chucky was, I named him Glenn, but Tiffany thought that he may have been a girl, so she was calling him Glenda. And then Jennifer Tilly came into the room, and she saw the severed head, and she thought at first it was just a prosthetic, but then she eventually realized that it was real. And then then the police then arrived and saw what happened, and then as Jennifer Tilly was leaving, she was like being spoken to by all the press, including one of them who was played by John Waters, who we'll get to later. And as she was getting in her limo with her driver Stan, Chucky, Tiffany, and Glenn also like sneaked into the limo and followed her back home. And then Chucky and Tiffany came up with a plan, because at this point, like, Jennifer Tilly was trying to get a role as the Virgin Mary in a film that Redmond was making his directing debut in. And Redmond was telling Jennifer that she wasn't right for the part, but then Jennifer invited Redmond over to her house to quote-unquote talk about it, which I'll get to later, And then anyway, back to what I was talking about before. And then, Chucky and Tiffany came up with a plan to transfer their souls into Jennifer Tilly and Redmond's bodies, and then they came up with a plan to, like, make Jennifer Tilly pregnant, so she'll give birth to a new child, and Glenn could transfer his soul into that body. And then Glenn later on like was asking his parents why they murder others, and he felt that violence was bad. And then Tiffany made Chucky like promise not to kill anyone anymore. And then Chucky did pretend to agree to it, but his fingers were crossed behind his back, and he just did that in an attempt to get Tiffany to shut up. And then later that night, as Redmond was at Jennifer Tilly's house, like, Jennifer Tilly and Redmond were starting to make out. And as they were doing that, like, Tiffany was like told Chucky to like get some. She told him to basically masturbate into a cup, which really doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's a doll. A lot of stuff in this movie really doesn't make sense. I mean, like Glenn pissing and Chucky masturbating, and at one point, in order to get him to masturbate, like, Tiffany showed Chucky her doll boobs. Like, what the hell? So a lot of stuff in this movie really didn't make any sense at all, but that's another reason why I rated it as low as I did, with 1 star. Anyway, as they were like doing that, all that was going on, and the photographer, who was played by John Waters, snuck over to Jennifer Tilly's house, and he was taking pictures of her and Redmond making out. And he also like could see that Tiffany was also like hiding behind the couch, and he also took a picture of Chucky like masturbating upstairs in the bathroom. Yeah. And then yeah, Tiffany then used one of Jennifer Tilly's awards to knock out Redmond, and then yeah, the photographer took a picture of that. Also, and then yeah, he just disappeared after that. And then yeah, Jennifer Tilly saw that Tiffany was alive. Alive. And then, and yeah, Jennifer Tilly tried to like escape. Hey, but then she saw Chucky, and then yeah, she ran in another direction, and then yeah. And then Tiffany knocked out Jennifer Tilly with the award. And then later on after they got Jennifer Tilly onto the bed while she was unconscious, Tiffany like inseminated Jennifer Tilly with Chucky's semen. And then afterwards, Chucky decided to take Glenn on a quote-unquote boys' night out, so they drove off in a Jeep with like Chucky driving it, but Glenn like controlling the pedals. Yeah. And then yeah, then Chucky like saw that Britney Spears was in front of him, and yeah, and then yeah, then he caused Britney Spears just to drive her car off of the road, well, by like bumping into it, and then yeah, she drove off of the road, and then her car exploded, killing her. But then yeah, then Chucky made the reference, "Oops, I did it again," which wasn't funny. I mean, was that supposed to be funny? Yeah, and then yeah, they arrived over at the photographer's darkroom where he was trying to develop the photos. Yeah, but then he saw that Chucky was in the room with him, and then he saw that Chucky was the one in the photo he took. And yeah, Chucky was meaning to kill the photographer, but Glenn was then like trying to warn the photographer to watch out. But then the photographer like bumped into a shelf, and it caused a bunch of jars to fall over, including a jar that contained some acid, and it fell on him, and then like it completely burned the left side of his face, and that ended up killing him. And Chucky thought that sorry, Chucky thought that Glenn was responsible for the photographer dying. He thought that he did it on purpose, and he decided to take a photo for the memory of it, to celebrate. But then the next morning, like, Jennifer Tilly and Redmond woke up, and then yeah, they thought that basically that everything that happened was just a dream. And then yeah, and then as Jennifer was like in her limo with Stan, and yeah, she then like puked inside of her purse, and then yeah, she eventually realized that she was pregnant. And then yeah, she thought that Redmond was the father, and Redmond denied it, and he told Jennifer that if she's pregnant, then he can't hire her for his movie. And then yeah, Tiffany was then just so angered by that she just ended up killing Redmond by disemboweling him. But yeah, Jennifer Tilly really didn't know that he was being killed, because yeah, she was like on a phone call at the time, and then yeah, she couldn't see like Tiffany disemboweling him from between his legs, let's just say. Yeah, and then yeah, we just saw like his intestines or colon, whatever it was, coming out of him. Yeah, and then Glenn actually saw that, and then yeah, Tiffany just tried to tell Glenn just to keep it a secret between him and her. And then yeah, then the next day, Jennifer Tilly like saw that she was fully pregnant because of the voodoo magic, which also like fuels the doll, the killer dolls. It apparently was also able to accelerate the pregnancy. So yeah, at this point Jennifer Tilly was fully pregnant. And then yeah, she tried calling her publicist Joan for some help. But then yeah, Chucky then like as like Tiffany was also on the phone because she had an identical voice of Jennifer Tilly's because she's played by Jennifer Tilly, of course. Yeah, and as Tiffany spoke, like both Jennifer Tilly and Joan thought that each other said it, and then as Jennifer Tilly was on the phone with Joan, then like she got captured by Chucky. And then Tiffany was continuing the phone call, and Joan heard like the screaming from Jennifer Tilly, and she thought that it was still her on the phone when Tiffany was talking to her. But then Tiffany was just telling her that it was nothing. Yeah. Yeah, and then since since Redmond was killed, then Chucky then decided to have Stan be the replacement body for Chucky. So yeah, then Tiffany tricked Stan into coming over to the house, and then they captured him also, and then they had both Jennifer Tilly and Stan's arms and legs tied to the bed. Yeah. And then then later on Joan then arrived at the house. She tried to come for help. Then she grabbed a spare key from under the mat and got into the house. And then she ran upstairs and saw that Jennifer and Stan were tied up. And then Chucky was meaning to kill her, but then and then yeah then it appeared that Tiffany then just like sprayed some flames at Tiffany and just burned her alive. Because and then Tiffany like revealed to Chucky found out that Tiffany killed Redmond because she hid Redmond in the closet and Chucky opened it and Redmond's body fell out of it. And and Tiffany also saw that Chucky and his picture with the photographer, and so they knew. So they found out that they both broke the promise, and then Tiffany after at least we thought it was Tiffany after Joan had died, she was crying, and then Chucky was trying to calm her down by telling her that he killed 3 more people and hid them in a closet like Tiffany did to Redmond. But then and he thought that she was crying for killing Joan, but as it turned out, it ended up being like Glenn's twin sister who also shared the soul in Glenn's body, and her name was Glenda. And Tiffany was just shocked about that, and she tried to snap Glenda out of it to like break Glenn out of it, I should say. Yeah. And then Jennifer Tilly then ended up like giving birth to actually it wasn't one baby, it was twins. One was a boy and one was a girl. And then they realized that they could like transfer a soul into both of the babies so they could have a boy and a girl for Glenn and Glenda. And then everything just the police then arrived, and then just everybody was like just shouting, like Jennifer and Stan were yelling for help, and like Tiffany was yelling over at Chucky, and then Chucky just had an epiphany, and he snapped, and he was just yelling, saying that he just would be better off as a doll. And then he, after years of like being the killer doll, and that he's infamous, he finally just accepted it. And he said that he basically said that being a doll would be better than even being a human, since as a human he gets sick and everything. And then after that, Tiffany just like rejected Chucky and just told her that they were done. And then she was leaving, and she took Glenn with her. And Chucky wasn't happy about that, and he was he attempted to throw a knife at Jennifer Tilly, but Stan jumped in the way, and the knife ended up stabbing him and killing him. And as he was dying, Stan told Jennifer that he loved her right before he died. Yeah, and then the police then broke into the house, and then forced Chucky, Tiffany, and Glenn to flee. And then Jennifer Tilly ended up being taken to the hospital. And then she was saying that she wanted to see her babies, but they wouldn't let her see them yet. Yeah. And then it showed that Tiffany and Glenn were under her hospital bed, and Tiffany ended up drugging Jennifer Tilly, and then she just ended up just falling down to the floor. Yeah. And and Tiffany ended up attempted the voodoo chant onto Jennifer again, but Chucky broke into the room with an axe. And then he nailed Tiffany in the head with the axe as Tiffany was attempting the chant. And then that ended up killing Tiffany, but right before she died, she told Glenn not to make the same mistakes that his parents have made. And then she ended up dying. And then that just ended up devastating Glenn. And then he just snapped and he was fighting with Chucky. And he was doing a bunch of I guess karate style stuff, because it said on the wrist that he was made in Japan. So I forgot to mention earlier, that's how really Chucky was able to identify him as his son, just because it said made in Japan on his wrist and it said made in Japan on Chucky's wrist. So that didn't really make much sense to me, really. Yeah. So Glenn was fighting with Chucky, and then Jennifer Tilly slid the axe over to Glenn, and then Glenn ended up impaling Chucky, of his arms, legs, and head. And then Chucky thought that it was Glenn that he was fighting against at first, but then Glenn revealed to himself that he revealed to Chucky that it was just himself as Glenn doing it. And then Glenn asked Chucky right before he killed him if he's proud of him. And then Chucky just congratulated Glenn as he was being decapitated. And then Glenn ended up killing him. And then Glenn realized what he did, and then he just suffered an emotional breakdown, and Jennifer Tilly just came over to comfort him. And then it cut to 5 years later at Glenn and Glenda's birthday party. And then and he was telling Jennifer Tilly that she was quitting because her daughter Glenda scares her. And Jennifer letting her quit, but then when the nanny turned her back, Jennifer Tilly ended up killing her. And then Jennifer Tilly's eyes turned green, and then it was then revealed that Tiffany she succeeded in possessing Jennifer Tilly's body. And Glenn was also given the body of the baby son. And then he got a gift from an unnamed person. And then he opened it, and then he saw that it was Chucky's right arm. And then he ended up urinating again. And then when he turned around, Chucky's arm grabbed him again, and then he started screaming, and then it just cut to black, and Chucky's evil laugh could be heard, and that's how it ended. So 1 star out of 4, as I said. This was just an extremely ridiculous, stupid comedy movie, and it wasn't funny at all, and this is hands down the worst Chucky movie. Because I cannot believe at all that Curse of Chucky is gonna end up being worse than this. So we'll see how it turns out when I get to my next Chucky movie review with Curse of Chucky. So and that'll be my last Chucky movie review. So alright, so that does it for my review of Seed of Chucky, dumb movie, and 1 star out of 4, as I said. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I apologize for all the coughing that I did throughout this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.